Good morning. How's everyone doing this morning? Good. Glad to be back for another community conversation in the park. We do community conversations once a month, so I can give updates from Lansing, and more importantly, I want to hear from you about what's happening locally, what I can do to better advocate for our needs, and help make those connections. And out of COVID, we found this opportunity to, one, bring in resource partners that I work with all year long, and to make sure you know where you can go for resources or reach out to us and we'll connect you. And so this is a tradition, and I so appreciate everyone who comes back month after month. We have upcoming community conversations, locations to be determined. Saturday, September 17th, Saturday, October 15th, and Saturday, November 19th. They're all Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Mark your calendars. Come join us. We like to hit the local libraries, sometimes the rec centers. We're hoping to make it for another Pints and Politics over at Coonan's. And as we were discussing, boundary lines for House districts, state Senate districts, congressional districts are changing. There has been some candidate confusion as some of those local familiar faces are changing. So as we were discussing, the area I could potentially represent moves to the west or the east side of Warren, which is 8 mile to 14 mile, mostly Hoover to Hayes. And then I would add Osborne neighborhood in Detroit. But everyone is always welcome. This is where my heart and soul is, where I grew up, where I taught. This is my neighborhood, and I said, you reach out to me, I will help connect you with the new representative for this area, but you can always reach out, you can always join. I will share strategies for success with whoever my predecessor is, and hopefully they'll continue them, but if not, you can always join me anywhere. If you are just joining, make a plate. There's plenty of food. I don't want to take any of it home with me. There's no room in my car. So take something for later as well. There's always free printed materials, courtesy of your tax dollars, on a variety of topics. Right now we have seasonal camping brochures, fairs and festivals throughout Michigan. Take a chance before you leave, look at the table over there where the sign-in sheets are, and collect any materials that you would find helpful, or that you know a family member, a friend, or a neighbor would find helpful, and take that with you too. We also share those with local libraries and any resource partners that would find that helpful. They're available, and they need to be used. Let's see. Also, I already saw some of you visiting our community partners. We have them throughout the park. Don't miss any of them. They have great resources. I'm going to give them each a chance to come and tell you a little bit about what they do, what you can seek from them. And so before you leave, take another opportunity to meet everyone and stop by the tables. I want to take an opportunity to say thank you to Dawn. Dawn is my legislative director. She started out as constituent director, and she's a community member. Thank you to Allie and Abby for joining us as our volunteers today. Give a shout out to my staff and my interns who are not here. Renee is our constituent director. She is usually the first voice you hear when you call on the phone, or the first person to reply to emails. We also have interns Max and Emily this semester. They're working through the summer. We have great opportunities. We try to open up our office to as many young people, any people who are interested in getting involved and better understanding the legislative process. So we're looking to take on 3 more this fall, and we have some great prospects. As always, you can come visit us. You have an office. It's your office in the House office building. Thank you for letting me use it for the last 3.5 years. It has been my pleasure to represent this community. And it's always nice to have friendly faces at the Capitol. So I like to share what is a state representative, because as a teacher, the one thing I realize is the last time you had government class was usually when you were a senior in high school, and what you cared about was prom, graduation, what you were doing next. And a lot of that, government and civic engagement was not a priority. But as you realize, you interact with government. Government makes decisions for you. With or without your input, with your input is more valuable. So we are your lawmakers. We make the laws, the policies shaped by the state of Michigan. We spend your tax dollars. We just set the budget for the state of Michigan. But we are also your hired customer service for the state government in Lansing and here in district. So when you have a problem, or you don't know who to go to, or you go to a government department and it's confusing, you're not getting responses, come to our office. We can help work that out. We can help get you answers. We can help let people know that someone's reaching out and they're not getting a response. And we've helped over 2,000 people through unemployment. It's our pleasure to do that. And if it's not our office, we will help direct you to the correct branch of government or organization that can help you. We can help provide legislative updates and information through community conversations like this, mailings, electronic newsletters, town halls on specific information like auto insurance reform, like education updates and changes. And I always seek out input from the community on what you want to learn more about. Because we have these resource partners, we have experts, and we love to bring them back to district or do something on the computer with a Zoom conference. I'll go anywhere I'm invited. I love to tour local businesses to have a better understanding on impacts, supporting small businesses and employers in the community. I've done roundtables with teachers to better understand the impact of COVID on education so we can better fund and make those policies. We did a push around childcare because childcare affordability is an issue, and as well as we have providers who are leaving the industry because they can't make any earnings to support themselves. And we can't charge families more because they're already paying. It doesn't pay off to work a job when your paycheck goes to your child care provider. You could stay home and be providing that child care yourself. So we've worked on programs like TriShare, and we have funded bonuses for child care providers in the last 6 months. So even a $1,000 bonus goes a long way for a child care provider. And TRICARE brings together state government, employers, and families that each pay a third of the cost of child care, so we can afford to pay child care more and not at the expense of family budgets. So we need people in the workplace, people in the workforce, we need child care providers, and it's a win all around. And then you help shape policy. So when you call with an issue, you read something in the newspaper, you have a problem in the community, we sit down as a team and we start talking about, is this a local fix? Is this a small fix? Or do we need policy to fix it? And so your ideas, your concerns all help shape that policy. So it takes you being involved, you being here, weighing in. So I appreciate that. And really, this job is a privilege. There's so many unique opportunities that I have by participating. This week, just for example, I traveled to Marquette in the Upper Peninsula as end of Project Accelerate. I've been participating in Project Accelerate through the winter. It promotes women in the trades. Women overall in the workforce make up roughly 4% of the trades. We should be, if equitable, at 50%. We know there's a lot of causes to that. And so as a part of Project Accelerate, I get to be an ambassador for the trades. Every aspect of the trades, across all trades, from carpentry to electric workers, to operating engineers, and then vertically. You might start out as an apprentice, but you might then go get an associate's degree, and you may end up to be a general contractor, a business owner, and it's amazing how these things build. We've spent 30 years telling our young people that they need to go to college to make a good living and to be successful. We lost sight of the trades that build our country. And we have a whole tier of people who are ready to retire. Our baby boomer generation have been working hard. They've been those journeymen. They've been those apprentice trainers. And even COVID pushed more people towards retirement. And so now more than ever, we need to be talking to our young people about the trades. Not everyone wants to go to college. Not everyone is suited to college. They have talents that meet a lot of needs, and we need to let them know they can be successful. We have people who are coming out of apprenticeships where they earn while they learn. They're being paid. They're in field work. They're getting training in the apprenticeship programs. They don't have any college debt when they finish, and they can be earning upwards of $60,000, $70,000, even into six figures. And so meeting with some of the young people who are finishing their apprenticeships, who have paid for a house, paid off their car. And so we need to know that this is not all the people that couldn't go to cut it for college. These are people with a skill set that we value and we need to let families, community, and our kids know that this is an option. We should be going and touring trade facilities, apprenticeship programs, as much as we're doing college campus tours. So keep those in mind. So that was one thing. Tuesday, I leave for Phoenix, Arizona for a legislative conference on early childhood education. For those of you who have followed me for a while, you know that I taught elementary school for more than 14 years. And so going into my third term, I've participated in several national educational conferences, and I was terribly flattered to be tapped to say, we know your background as a legislator, we'd like you to join our conference and attend. So it was tremendously flattering, and I get to have a voice at a national table where I get to raise up what we have done exemplary in Michigan, like expanding access to early childhood education, free, high-quality preschool through Great Start Readiness programs for any family making definitely less than $150,000, and I think that's the cutoff point. But we know our kids, regardless of where they come from, need that strong foundation to start off a K-12 education on the same foot. I was invited and got to celebrate with the Bangladeshi Tiger Sports Club Awards last night, followed by the distinguished awardees for their contributions to the Asian American Hall of Fame. And so it's been an action-packed week, but it just goes to show our representatives, you know, some people were saying, what do you do all summer? Are you on summer vacation? I said I miss summer vacation. We're a state representative that is representing their community, is out in the community, and really has a finger on the pulse of what we need and bringing those worlds together, government and what we need locally. Legislative updates from Lansing. You get a lot of headlines and snippets, sometimes very sensational, and sometimes you don't get the whole news, the whole background. And I get a lot of people asking me, tell me about this. And so I'll open the floor at some point at the end of this agenda. But just to let you know what I've been working on, I have clearly educational priorities, including addressing teacher shortages. And I just had the governor sign a bill that I've been working on for over a year. It lowers the barriers to returning retired teachers to classrooms. And mine is a piece about collecting the data so that our legislators continue to make these informed decisions. I've been working with the opioid use and abuse community, and I've had community members that brought me the foundations for legislation, and we've worked to refine it on kratom, consumer protection use. It's not a widely known substance. If you want to learn more, feel free to reach out to me, but we're working on a Consumer Protection Act, so anyone who is using it understands what they're using, how to use it, as well as the potential pitfalls. We passed all our state budgets as of July 1st. So that means not only education, which is usually the one that gets passed first by July, so our schools know what to budget for the school year. But for the first time in at least 8 years, and it helps when you have both houses of the state government and the governor all in agreement. It's a little harder when you have bipartisan representation, but we worked together and we got those knocked out by July 1st. So I'm very proud of it. That is an accomplishment. We have more revenue in the state that we were able to fund additional programs. School aid fund budget, which is a personal passion. We've increased per pupil funding to $9,150 per pupil. It's a good start. We're getting closer to adequate funding. The next piece is equitable. We've added $214 in per pupil for mental health spending in our schools. We've seen rising rates of depression and anxiety among our children, and we need school psychologists, school counselors, school social workers there to support them in that environment. We've added more than 1,300 free preschool slots through Great Start Readiness. Additional funding for students for nearly 200,000 special education students and over 700,000 at-risk students. We have offered $10,000 in tuition reimbursement or to cover tuitions for 2,500 future Michigan educators every year. In addition, one of the highest things I hear when I'm out on doors talking to community members is, what about the roads? You know, you can pave all the roads in Michigan, but until 8 Mile to 10 Mile at Mound is taken care of, doesn't matter. But you should know that the governor is fixing the damn roads, and we're sending her budgets that support increased funding. Over 16,000 lane miles will have been paved in the last 4 years. Over 900 bridges in serious disrepair will be replaced or repaired in the last 4 years. And we allocated $30 million for Mound Road improvements. We're not there yet. We have $15 trillion worth of neglected infrastructure in the state. So what we've started is a good step in the next direction, but we have a lot of work to do. So, you know, when they toss around those budget numbers, it's important to pay attention. Abortion rights, reproductive freedom, and access to health care is an issue that's important. I hear it throughout the community. The Supreme Court the Court of Appeals, this has been a process. There's a lot of pieces going on. There was a Court of Appeals decision issued, I believe, yesterday. Abortion is still legal in Michigan. It is accessible. Thank you, Mary. It's important for people to know that. We're at an intersection where every state is making this decision for themselves, and we have medical professionals who aren't sure if they should be leaning into their best medical judgment for how to treat a person, or if they need to hold off because they can be imprisoned or charged with this. And so you follow carefully. I'll give you up to date. Michigan citizens get to decide this for themselves on the November ballot. There is a citizen-led ballot initiative. You don't have to wait for your legislators to come to consensus. It will be on your ballot. Look for it and let your voice be heard. You will see me around the community. We're not having as much time in Lansing in September and probably October. That does not mean that I'm going on vacation for the next 2 months. What that does mean that I'm hard at work in the community. So I might be out on doors having conversations on porches. I may be in parks doing more of these community events. But, you know, if there's an event, this is a great opportunity to email me, invite me along. I'm looking to do some more visits to local businesses and have more conversations and roundtables. Everyone should have received an education-related mailing. They were tailored by school district. We had the opportunity. Fitzgerald School District got a mailing that was a little different than Center Lines, that was a little different than Warren Woods. And we have an amazing communication staff that was able to help us tailor those. If you didn't get one, or it has made its way into the trash and you want to go back and look, we have extra copies available. Please take one home. They don't do any good sitting in the office. Elections are coming up. The general elections are November 8th, Tuesday, November 8th. Elections are your rights and they are your responsibility. In order to have representative government you can believe in, you have to participate. Encourage everyone around you to participate. Elections and votings in Michigan have never been easier to participate in. We put those guarantees in our Constitution 2 years ago. And so if you need help getting an absentee ballot, getting registered, if you have questions about the process, there's still a lot of people that are questioning, what about the safety and security? We have in our country a decentralized system that is one of the most safe processes that have been guaranteed for 150 years. So if you have those questions, reach out. We can help put you in contact. For our deer hunters, if we have hunters in the audience, DNR has switched over to an online reporting. It helps free up their DNR personnel to be in the field and taking care of issues. They have an online website, but you can also download an app to your phone and you can report it from the field if you have access to Wi-Fi. Spread the word. All reports of deer kills have to be reported within 72 hours of taking the deer. It should only take about 3 to 5 minutes based on the attempts that have been piloted over the last hunting season. If for some reason you're having trouble, try your public libraries. They usually have access to public internet. Help spread that word because this is a new change. And now is the time of the program where I get to feature the guests that we have with us today. And I invite them up to share, have a conversation about what they're working on, what resources they offer, any special events that they have coming up, and they'd love to have you join them. So let me start with Judson Center. Where did Irene set up? Come on down, Irene. And we don't have a microphone and amp because I have a teacher voice and we didn't bring it. So I just ask that our guests speak up because occasionally we have fire engines.
Actually, I thought that was a nice thought, Lori.
This is real.
Thank you, Lori.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Irene Salem. I'm with the Judson Center. I am the Community Outreach Liaison, and I'm so happy that you are all here today. Our clinic is located on 13 Mile between Hoover and Shaner. We do services there for mental health, autism, substance use disorder, and we also have primary care there. And I'm so excited to let you know this comes in tandem with what Lori was talking about, her being a teacher, is that Judson Center is piloting a program with one of the schools in Warren to see how this works out. We're going to put mental health in there. So what we're trying to do is we're going to have, we're working with a middle school, high school, and an elementary school, and we're going to have a clinic in there with a therapist from the Judson Center. And if the children want to or they need to receive services, the parents can just request it, and we will step in, take care of all the paperwork, and make sure they get the services. They're served right at school, so nobody has to drop them off or pick them up anywhere. If they can have it an hour a week, and then we'll be working on group sessions as well. So I'm really happy to announce that we're starting this program this year when it's most needed for the children returning back to school. And hopefully we'll be able to spread it out through all of the schools in Warren. Thank you.
Thanks, Irene. Irene is also the president of our local prevention coalition, a collaboration that I'm a part of, that Adrian's a part of, that we work on prevention, youth education, around issues of tobacco, alcohol, and substance use prevention. So it's great to have community leaders that wear a lot of different hats, but also all intersect with these service uses. And just Judson has been an amazing resource in our community when you are addressing autism spectrum disorder. You're like, where do I even start? You know, they're a phone call away, and it's a great place to start. I want to invite up MSU Extension. I have Nancy Latham, a longtime friend on every issue, financial. Not everyone knows that MSU Extension is in our community every day, well, at least 3 days a week. 3 days a week over at the Max Thompson Center. Thompson Center? Yeah. Over, between Van Dyke and Hoover, off of Huff. Okay. Come on up. And Liz is with Health and Nutrition.
No, she is with
4-H.
Yep.
Come on up, Liz.
youth.
Yes. So when you think 4-H, I always thought country kids and farms. Who knew we had 4-H right here in Warren? Come on up.
Come on over, Liz. You go first. I will. Okay. I am a financial and homeownership education.
Nice and loud, Nancy.
Oh, okay. I'm a financial and homeownership education instructor. So we do home buyer education.
Oh no.
We
You keep working.
we do foreclosure intervention work. The state currently has a program out. It's the MIAF, the Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund, that can do mortgage, property taxes, association fees, utilities. If you were financially impacted by COVID, and we are helping with those applications. If you have condominium fees, association fees, they're doing all kinds of assistance for homeowners. And right now, of course, that's our biggest program. I also do one-on-one budgeting, counseling, and we have all kinds of different webinars that we teach. Most of them are just an hour. We do have flyers here of some of our upcoming webinars, all about money.
And I'm Liz Duran, and I work with the Children and Youth Institute. And I provide fun educational opportunities for the youth in our area at free or little no cost through the acronym of 4-H. A lot of folks don't know about 4-H, but it's the largest youth development organization in the nation, and it's one of the oldest. And like all extension institutes, I'm required to identify needs in our community. And so I do fun educational things. I just wrapped up a gardening series here at the Thompson Center where kids got to come in and actually use the garden as a learning lab, and we did a lot of cool stuff over there. In the fall, I'm proud to say that we are kicking off a program for teen mental health. We've all agreed that mental health is a huge issue in our community, and so we have secured a grant with Lady Gaga called Stop the Violence, and we'll be going into 4 high schools, training teens in the next program year to be the go-to person in their high schools to help point their peers in the right direction, maybe be a listening ear, provide resources, be that liaison, because kids are more likely to talk to their peers than any of us. So I'm pretty excited about that. Typically, kids operate or participate in 4-H in a club environment, and so not all kids can come to a club meeting through no fault of their own. So that's where I step up, and I provide educational programs, special events, and I partner with the schools in our area a lot. I go in to the schools and do special events and things like that. So if you have anything that you need for youth development or education, just come see me, because there's just too many things that I can do and provide you with to just sit here and listen.
Thank you so much, you guys. Yeah, I couldn't believe that there was free and low cost day camps available to families in our community. Health and nutrition planning, teaching you how to shop on a smart budget, make sure you're getting all your nutritional needs met, and how to do creative cooking with those. These ladies are part of a team that offer a host of services. COVID closed a lot of it down for 2 years, and now they're reamping it up. There is a program on mindfulness and stress management that's being offered. And I'm just going to reiterate, we have the My Half program. There was COVID aid dollars that were pushed out into communities, which are your tax dollars that are being returned to local services, up to $25,000 for households that were impacted by COVID. And that can look like a lot of things. We had families that were spending additional money on testing and PPE and cleaning supplies. We had families that were sidelined with work, that they faced unemployment challenges or insecurity in employment that put them behind in bills, that put them in behind in car payments and house payments. And there are financial assistance out there. A lot of times people are like, there's just no one out here to help me dig out of this hole that I'm in. And there are out there. They don't have enough people applying for these programs. The city of Warren is administering one of the federal programs around mortgage and don't open any of those Fago cans.
You'll probably pop out of it.
So please visit them. If you know someone in the neighborhood who is struggling, connect them back, because these funds are there, and it would be a shame for them to go unused and people to lose houses. We survived the evictions of the recession. We know our community was one of the most impacted by evictions in the country through the recession, and we can't go back to that. Up next, I have Adrienne Gasparoni from CARE of Southeast Michigan, also a fellow member of the Warren Centerline Prevention Coalition. Come on down. It's The Price is Right.
Hi, thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, Lori, for doing this. This is such an amazing service to the community to be able to get informed like this, and I think that's pretty awesome. So I am a community organizer at CARE of Southeastern Michigan. If I need to. All right. And so I have two hats here for Warren. One, I work with the Warren Centerline Prevention Coalition, and our mission is substance abuse prevention in the community, and actually looking around the community of Warren and Centerline and seeing what needs there are around substance use prevention, so that it can be addressed in the city that's reflecting those needs. And so that's one of the things we do, and that is prevention work. So at CARE, we support people who are in recovery. We support community wellness. We provide intervention services, which is, it's vast. So we have parenting groups, we have case management services, meaning help getting families what they need, whether that be financial help or educational help for children, families with children under 5 years old. We have a brand new dads group that is happening right now, where we are supporting single dads of young children. We have parenting classes that are always available. We have a vaping intervention program. So there's a lot of teens right now in our schools that are have become addicted to vaping, which is using an electronic device to take in nicotine, mostly nicotine for the most part, and it's highly addictive. In fact, kids can use it actually and take it more frequently than they do tobacco, and so it builds up their tolerance and it's harder to quit. So we have intervention programs where kids who have been caught in schools can come for free and get educated, so they know the health consequences of vape. Starting this fall, late fall, we will be working on providing cessation programs, actual help for teens to help them quit. And when I say this is a huge problem, it is a very big problem in many school districts. We have several other things that we do at CARE. I urge you to check out our website at CARE of Southeastern Michigan. We have a huge recovery support program. If somebody who is struggling with staying sober, clean and sober, or I'm sorry, wrong term, sober, they can go ahead and go to our Recovery United Center just to be surrounded by people who would help support their sobriety and those choices. So that's a really helpful program. If you are interested or want to find out what the Warren Centerline Prevention Coalition is about, we have a meeting over Zoom, and that is this Monday at 1 o'clock. If you're interested in finding out more, you can email us at wcpc4change@gmail.com. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Adrienne. The one thing I'm really proud of in Macomb County is with the opioid crisis. Macomb County was the leading voice on destigmatizing substance use disorder. We know that for the long time it was treated as criminalized, marginalized, and Macomb County has led the way in changing that narrative around substance use. And we now better understand it as a health impact. And we know that there's things that we can do to prevent it, there's things that we can do to intervene and to help people in recovery. We have a host of resources. At the state, we've really worked at funding Narcan and other devices that help someone who have overdosed. And some people, there's sometimes discussion about, well, what does that mean? Like if someone keeps getting second chances. Said every second chance is a chance to change minds and to have a different future. And so those treatments and access are more accessible. You can get them at pharmacies. CARE has training sessions and pushes them out. It's free. And people in every family, in every community across this city, county, state, country are impacted by substance use disorder and opioids. So having those on hand, you never know when you can encounter that at a library, at a restaurant, in a household. And by having those, you give people a second chance to make another choice. We also have United Way. Is it Amanda? Come on down. United Way is amazing because they are the intersection of so many resources. And I've had an opportunity to talk about the resources that are used most in our community. And number one in our community is food pantries. Because we have a lot of working families that are working full-time or multiple jobs, and at the end of the month, their paychecks don't get as far as the grocery store. And it's a sad state when you work 40-hour work weeks and you cannot provide the food for your family. So we got a lot of work to do about making sure we have fair compensation. If you're working hard, you get what you need to support your family. But I so appreciate you coming and talking about the whole host of resources that are available to our community.
Hi everybody, my name is Tamika. I am a representative with 211 at United Way. We do offer a range of different resources. Our major one, we service 5 counties first, I want to say. That's Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, Washtenaw, and Lapeer. So if anybody calls in, we even also service as a crisis hotline. So if anybody needs to just talk or vent, we service for that as well. Food pantries are one of our larger resource requests. But right now, a lot of people need help with their utility bills. So that's a lot of things that we're getting calls about right now as well. But we offer resources for utility payment assistance, mortgage payments, property taxes, child care, and things of that nature. We are a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week service, so anybody is always available to talk at any time. I have cards on my table, so if you need anything, feel free to walk over.
Wonderful. Thank you so
No
much,
problem.
Tamika. That's a hard part. There are so many resources. It's hard to take them all in. Most important is having access and knowing how to get back to them when you need them. 211 is the emergency crisis line for resources. We know 911 when you're having a medical emergency. Please remember 211 for all other needs. When you need help, when you have a family or friend who needs help, remind them, put 211 in their speed dial of their phone. Up next, Macomb Community Action, our neighbors at also the Thompson Center. You don't have to go to Mount Clemens to get all of these resources. The transportation's an issue. We have a lot of them right here in our community. So come on down.
Thank you, Lori. It's great to be here. So I'm Liz from Macomb Community Action. I consider the social services of Macomb County. We assist with, we have Head Start, the food program, eviction prevention. We always want to prevent an eviction. It's easier to keep someone housed than to find them new housing. We also have, we do work with homeless, finding them housing. We recently became the HARA in Macomb County, which is huge. Change is coming. We hope to address homelessness in Macomb County. We're working on finding a warming center this winter for homeless people who need a place to go. So if you have any ideas, we are welcoming any ideas that you have to keep the homeless safe in the winter months when it gets really cold, that they have shelter. Especially, it's usually at night. They usually get there at night, spend the night, and so please. I am located in the homeless programs is located in Mount Clemens. We do have Action Center in Warren. We do help with utilities, water, we have the RAT program, which is huge. So please reach out to us. If we can't assist you, we will work hard to find someone who can. So 5684-696999 is our number. Super easy. Call us, please. If you need assistance or you know someone who needs assistance, you run into someone, definitely send them our way.
Thank you so much, Liz. I'm working with Liz on Homelessness Coalition here in Warren and Macomb County. I'm part of the Poverty and Homelessness Coalition of Legislators.